Due to how Owen Hart died, his final words were very public. On May 23, 1999, WWE was hosting a pay-per-view event from Kansas City, Missouri called Over the Edge. That night, Owen Hart was playing a superhero-themed character called the Blue Blazer. Fitting with his persona, WWE decided to have Owen lowered from the top of the arena and into the ring. However, there was a malfunction, and Owen fell to his death. While the show was broadcast live, the viewers watching at home didn't see the fall because of a pre-recorded interview playing at that time.
Well, Blue Blazer, you got a big match tonight, going after the Intercontinental Championship, taking on the Godfather.
Ooh, the Godfather. Just saying his name makes my blue blood boil.
However, these were not Owen's final words. In his last moments before his death, Owen Hart showed exactly who he was.
When Owen was falling, everybody that was there said the last thing that he yelled was, "Look out. A guy's fallen from 100 feet and he knows he's done. And the last thing he's thinking is, look out, I don't want to hurt you."
The sudden passing of Bray Wyatt shocked the entire wrestling world. After disappearing from WWE for about 6 months to deal with an illness, it was reported on August 19, 2023 that Bray was expected to make a return soon. Fans went from excited to heartbroken just 5 days later, when it was shared that the Eater of Worlds had died at the age of 36 due to a heart attack. The final video Bray Wyatt had posted to social media ended with this message.
I hope everyone out there that's hearing this, I hope you take this from me. Be good to the ones you love. Always remind them about that and how much they mean to you, because nothing is forever. Thank you for everything, guys.
Before Bray's death, another Wyatt family member sadly passed away unexpectedly. In December 2019, Luke Harper was released from his WWE contract 8 months after he requested it. About 3 months later, Harper made his AEW debut under the name Brodie Lee. His run with the company, though, was cut short. In October of that year, Brodie went on hiatus to attend to an injury. Sadly, he never returned. On December 26, 2020, Brodie Lee died. The cause of death was idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. A few days after Brodie's passing, his wife shared the last text messages he sent her. In them, Lee told his wife how much he loved her and what he had planned for their future. Shad Gaspard may not have had the most prestigious WWE career, but the decision that caused him to die was greater than any championship he could have won. In May 2020, Shad and his 10-year-old son were swimming at Venice Beach in California. However, they got caught in a strong rip current, and the Coast Guard came to rescue them. In this moment, Shad Gaspard would say his final words, "Save my son, save my son." Gaspard's child was rescued by the Coast Guard, but before Shad could be pulled to safety, he disappeared under the water. 3 days later, the former WWE wrestler's body would be washed ashore. WWE fans from the mid to late 2000s will remember Umaga. Despite having a shorter WWE career, the Samoan Bulldozer accomplished a lot in his 3 years on the roster, feuding with names like John Cena, Triple H, Kane, and CM Punk. Additionally, Umaga also won the Intercontinental Championship, which led to him competing in the famous Battle of the Billionaires match at WrestleMania. However, in June 2009, Umaga was released from his WWE contract after violating their wellness policy and refusing rehab. Following his departure, Umaga continued to wrestle, working on the independent circuit. However, the Samoan Bulldozer was set to make a return to WWE at the 2010 Royal Rumble, but sadly, that wouldn't happen. On December 4th, 2009, the third-generation wrestler was found unresponsive in his home. After being taken to a hospital, it was discovered Umaga had suffered a heart attack. While on life support, the former WWE wrestler suffered a second attack that sadly ended his life. In his passing, Umaga left behind his wife and 4 children. Umaga's son, Zillafat II, shared his last memories of his father in a video on his YouTube channel.
It was me and my dad playing a video game, and we was actually playing that year's Raw vs. SmackDown. And I was just beating him. He used to get mad. After that, I had to go to sleep. I had school the next day. My mom was like, "Hey, you gotta go to sleep." Turn the game off. The last time he just told me, "All right, son, I see you tomorrow. I love you." Gave him a big hug. Big hug. Yeah, that was like the last interaction that I had with my dad.
Ashley Massaro's journey to becoming a WWE wrestler was different than most. She competed in the third Diva Search competition WWE hosted in 2005. Not only was she selected to be one of the 8 contestants, but she won the entire thing as well, which earned her a WWE contract. After roughly 3 years at the company though, Ashley asked to be let go so she could tend to her sick daughter. Following her departure, Massaro would mostly leave the world of wrestling and would later become a DJ for a radio station in New York State. On May 15th, 2019, Massaro made a post on social media sharing that she had responded to some fan mail and thanked her supporters. This would be Ashley Massaro's final public words. The next day, after not showing up for work, paramedics went to Ashley Massaro's home where she was unresponsive. Once she was taken to the hospital, Massaro was pronounced dead. The cause of death was later revealed to be suicide. Macho Man Randy Savage is hands down one of the most iconic wrestlers of all time. However, his departure from WWE wasn't sunshine and rainbows. WWE wanted Macho Man to retire and become a full-time commentator, while Randy Savage still felt he had more to give. This disagreement ultimately led to the Macho Man leaving WWE and working against them by joining their competitor, WCW. Even after Savage left WCW, he never returned to WWE and mostly left wrestling altogether. However, it looked like a bridge between the two was starting to be made when Randy Savage partnered with WWE's toy manufacturer, Mattel. Sadly, nothing more would come of this due to what happened on May 20th, 2011. Savage was out driving with his wife when he turned to her and said, "I don't feel too good." Savage then suffered a heart attack which caused the vehicle to crash. Macho Man's partner only suffered minor injuries, but Savage tragically died, with the cause of death being heart disease. In an eerie coincidence, the night before his death, Randy Savage was with his brother. Macho Man told his sibling he wasn't feeling well and said, "I've had a great life," almost as if Savage knew something was going to happen. Despite being one of the most popular female wrestlers of the late 90s and early 2000s, Chyna's life and career had a dramatic downfall. After leaving WWE, she created adult films and struggled with drugs. Despite this, Chyna fought to turn her life around. She moved to Japan and became an English teacher. Just as things appeared to be improving for the ninth wonder of the world, tragedy struck. On April 17th, 2016, it was discovered that Chyna had died. An autopsy later revealed the cause of her death was overdosing on alcohol combined with a number of drugs. In her final days, Chyna had been filming a documentary. The clips showed Chyna with a black eye, but also displayed how troubled her life was.
I cannot stop the cough.
Despite how dark things were for her, Chyna's final words before her passing were ones of hope.
Anyway, love y'all. I hope you have a beautiful day. Love y'all. Peace.
For many fans, one of the hardest hitting deaths in all of wrestling was the passing of Eddie Guerrero. The day before his death, Eddie was traveling to Minneapolis for a WWE show. Guerrero was flying with his nephew Chavo, and during the flight, Eddie abruptly passed out. It didn't seem serious at the time, and once the plane landed, both Eddie and his nephew went to their hotel. That evening, Chavo received a phone call from Eddie. Latino Heat said he needed to talk to Chavo, and Chavo obliged. After taking care of a few things, Chavo was ready to meet up with Eddie, but when he called his uncle back, Eddie said he was alright and no longer needed to talk. Late that night, however, Eddie did call his wife, Vicky. Little did they both know, this would be the last time they would speak. In his final words before his death, Eddie told his wife he loved her. A few hours later, Eddie Guerrero was found dead in his hotel room, the cause being acute heart failure. Chris Benoit's career was forever tarnished due to what happened during his final days. The day before Benoit took his family's lives and his own, Chris was supposed to meet up with Chavo Guerrero so they could travel together for a show. However, Benoit called Chavo and told him he wouldn't be joining Guerrero because, according to Chris Benoit, his family had food poisoning. After that, Chris Benoit spoke his final words.
And he goes, Chavo. I go, yeah? And he goes, I love you. I'm like, okay, brother, I love you too, man. That was weird. And I go, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm okay, man. Just, I'm just really tired. And I said, okay, man. Okay, well, call me if you need to get any problem. So then, that's it.
Later, on the morning of Chris Benoit's death, Benoit sent a text message to Chavo saying, "The dogs are in the enclosed pool area, garage side door is open." And another message saying, "My physical address is 130 Green Meadow Lane, Fayetteville, Georgia, 30215. These were the final messages Chris Benoit sent while he was alive. Once police began investigating Benoit's home, a note was found inside a Bible. It said, "I'm preparing to leave this earth." The day before he died, the Ultimate Warrior said something that seemed to predict his own death. To hear it, watch the video on screen.